Good morning, my friends. Good morning. Good morning. Bear. 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 Oh, they're so cute. Ain't they cute animals? Oh, hi. How are you today, my friends? Bear. Bear. All right, see you later, guys. Hi friends, Grace here. Welcome to another video where I'm going to talk about what it's like to live in Switzerland, because a lot of you have been asking me, and I've been here for over a year. I can't believe it's been over a year. And I'm just going to share my experience of living in Switzerland and whether I recommend it as a place of refuge for the time of trouble, because we know we are right in that time. We are approaching that time. It's here, guys. So we really need to start thinking strategically in regards to where we need to be when this whole crazy crisis really hits us, because we are here, guys. Now, before I begin, if you are on Facebook, make sure you join our Country Living page, SDA Country Living. We have now over 13,000 Adventists or different people who are into country living, people who are actually doing country living, sharing their experiences. We have families trying to get together, like find a place, combine their finances and move together, you know, to the countryside. We've got people who are looking for work, who are looking for houses. We have people advertising houses, trying to share their homes or sell their homes in the countryside. People offering land to buy Adventists in the countryside. So it's happening there, and there's been a huge spark of requests to join that page since this whole corona crisis virus pandemic. So if you're on Facebook, join that page and you'll be warmly welcomed. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what it's like to live in Switzerland. Now, I've already explained how I came to Switzerland. This was when I first arrived. You can check that video out if you want to. So now it's been over a year. I think it would be good to give you an update, because a lot of you have been asking me about Switzerland, what it's like, and if I am in the countryside. And I'm happy to tell you that I am in the countryside, in a beautiful location. I didn't think this would ever happen, you know, because trying to find a place in the countryside in Switzerland within commutable distance at a reasonable price is not easy. It's hard. And how I got this place was just by God's grace, because initially I was supposed to move somewhere else in an apartment which was not really country, but it's all I could find at that time, because it's so hard to find a place in the countryside. But when this whole pandemic set loose, where I was supposed to move, I couldn't move there anymore because the people were no longer leaving. So I had to find somewhere quickly. So I prayed and said, Lord, help me find somewhere like in the countryside. I really want somewhere nice, because it's so hard to find somewhere that's really in the countryside in Switzerland within commutable distance, as I mentioned. So then I just went on Airbnb, I found this place, I thought, let me rent it out for a month, you know, it looks nice, you know, it looks like it's got nice views, good reviews. So I came here and I absolutely loved it. And I was supposed to be here just for a month, you know, because the person had other bookings after me, but because of the whole coronavirus, he was able to cancel those bookings without it affecting his ratings, and he said I could just stay here like until I'm ready to leave, you know, and it's greatly priced. And that was God's blessing. And I know the coronavirus has been a nightmare for a lot of people, and I sympathize, because a lot of people have lost their jobs and so on. But for me, it's been a real blessing. I can now work from home. I've been working from home for the last 3-4 months, you know, in the mountains, the fresh air, not many neighbors here. It's just been such a blessing. I've loved it. It's helped my health tremendously, because a lot of you know that I'm EMF sensitive. It affects my sleep. Being here has just been a blessing, because there's not so much of that stuff going on. It's only one family that owns this land, sort of, so there's not neighbours close to me. I'm not in an apartment with different Wi-Fi signals beaming all around me. So it's just helped my health tremendously, and I'm so thankful to God. Like, words can't describe how thankful I am to him. So it's been a blessing for me. So Switzerland, what's it like? So guys, I love Switzerland. When I came here, I thought I would just be here for 6 months, you know, work and go back to England and try and buy a property. But I just ended up staying a bit longer than I expected. Now, when I finished my first contract, which was about 9 months or so, initially I thought I would go into missionary work, because that's where my heart is to do missionary work. But at that time, the right opportunities just didn't seem to present itself. I was just unsure. Like, I was like, Lord, where do you want me to be? Is it here? It doesn't feel right. I just don't know. I'm not sure. So at that time, I thought I'd just take another contract, like just a short-term contract, which ends in a few weeks now. So I thought I'd just take this short-term contract for a few months, and then hopefully the right opportunity will present itself for me to go into missionary work. So being in Switzerland, it's been over a year, and as I mentioned, I love it. Interestingly enough, before I moved here, a lot of people were saying that people in Switzerland are not very friendly, you know, it's hard to like make friends and so on and so on. But for me, I have not experienced that. I find the Swiss people to be very kind and very friendly. For example, where I am, I'm kind of in the centre of Switzerland, sort of, like in the countryside. And everyone has just been so kind and welcoming. Even like the family here, they've just been so kind and welcoming. They don't even want me like to leave, you know. So it's amazing. And a lot of people also said that, you know, what's Switzerland like? You know, there's not many black people, there's all white people. And when I came back, let me tell you something, guys. When it comes to colour, I don't think like that. I don't think, oh, there's white people here, I'm going to move here. Or it's more black, I'm going to move here. I just never think like that. But interestingly enough, when I've had family come over, they seem to be very like insecure in those things and say, oh, there's not many black people here. But for me, I don't really think like that. And even though there's not many black people here, like especially in the centre of Switzerland, I don't feel out of place. I still feel very welcomed, you know. When you're walking, people are like Gritzy, they say hi. People have invited me for coffee around here, you know, like, because they can see, like, you know, when I just moved here and so on and so on. So for me, the Swiss people I have found to be very kind, very friendly and very welcoming. That's from the people that I have met. And because of that, this place, Switzerland, will always hold a special place in my heart, because I find the people to be very welcoming and very friendly. Also, like the land as well, I think is quite fertile. There's lots of water. Like where I am, we've got a beautiful waterfall like around the area, which is quiet. No one knows where it is, because you've got to go sort of down the bushes, sort of. We've got like water. It's got its own water supply, and that's crucial if you want to move into the countryside, so you get fresh water. It can get cold in the winter though. The previous winter, it was quite mild. A lot of people say it's worse. But for me, it's bearable, you know. And here where I am, they've got lots of fruit trees, and you can easily grow your fruit and veg just on a farm as well. So they do have livestock here. So it's something you can live off. You can live off the land here. So Switzerland is a place of refuge that I think will do well for the time of trouble. The only disadvantage, I'd say, is that here, well, it depends how you look at it. It might be a disadvantage for some people, but for me, I find this to be a huge disadvantage. And that is that you can't really own your own property. How it works is really complicated. I know in England, like, once you buy your property, you pay off your mortgage, that house is yours, you know. But here, it doesn't really work like that. I mean, you have to pay a huge amount of property tax if you do happen to own your own property. I think that might be the same for America, I don't know, but in England it's not. We don't do that. as far as I know. And because of the property tax, a lot of the Swiss people don't own their homes outright. They, it's so complicated to explain, but the banks sort of own it and they never finish off paying their mortgage because it's cheaper to sort of have the banks own it than to own it outright and continue paying property tax on the property, something along those lines, you know. So I don't really like that. I want to be able to like buy a piece of land and know it's mine and not have to worry about those things. And you can't do that here in Switzerland. Another thing, it's expensive to live. I mean, if you want to do missionary work, like going to full-time missionary, then, you know, your expenses, living expenses will be high. If you're working full-time, you're fine. Like the salaries are great, you know. I mean, the quality of life here compared to England is so much better, I think, here. So you can live comfortably because they do pay well here. There's not much tax as compared to other countries in the EU. So you can live comfortably, but if you want to do missionary work and you want to do traveling, for me, I want to keep my expenses as low as possible. I don't want to have to think about having to pay so much rent. So that is a disadvantage for me and why I wouldn't want to make this, you know, as my base as a missionary, is simply because the expenses I think are just quite high for me personally. But it's all individual, you know. And yeah, and also it's expensive. Even just to buy a property here, like a decent one, it's like crazily expensive. Like, I don't even want to go into the prices, right? But yeah, so those are the disadvantages and the advantages. But overall, it's a beautiful place. The people are lovely. I love the Swiss people. It's very scenic, you know. I have amazing mountain views, beautiful sunsets, you can see the stars. You can really see God's glory here, like in Switzerland. And sometimes I'm just in awe. I just never get tired of the views. Like being in the countryside, when you're in the mountains, it's like nature speaks to you. And it really is the environment to develop character. Like being in the city, it's just 10 times, 100 times harder, all the distractions. But being here is a blessing. And even during the corona crisis, like if you're in the cities, if you're in apartments, you saw how the people suffered. I know in England it was rough, like the laws were crazy. Here I was like on vacation. It didn't affect me one bit. I was living a glorious, happy life while all of that craziness was going on. I wasn't restricted. We could still go to the shops, you know. We don't have to worry about masks, or people here like are just chilled and laid back in the countryside from my experience where I am, you know. So it's a blessing, you know, and I will be sad to leave this place, you know. But I do feel my time is coming to an end here because other opportunities are opening up for mission work. I think I'm there now. I believe it's happened now. So I'm still praying about that and still continue to pray for me that I make the right decisions. Because this world is over, friends. I see it. Trying to build your world here, like now with all that's going on, you're wasting your time. Yeah, they're going to try and present this false illusion. Oh, the restrictions, you know, they're easing up now and blah, blah, blah. But are they really easing up? You know, because in the news now they're saying because they've loosened these restrictions, the spikes are higher, and now they're trying to make it mandatory to wear face masks. If you don't wear face masks, they want to fine you, and all these crazy laws. And many people are now talking about this second wave. It's going to happen soon, and when the second wave happens, I mean, it's going to even be more disastrous than the first wave. And Ellen White says the time is coming where those who tried to get out, who didn't make the opportunities of getting out, will not be able to get out. It will just be too late, you know. So this is the time now, especially as properties now are a little bit are coming down. I think prices are getting lower now because of all of this pandemic. And not only that, because this has happened in the news, they were saying how most people now are trying to move to the countryside. People who are in the cities, they've seen what's happened. So people in the world now are striving to find places in the countryside. So it's going to make it a lot harder for us, and prices will actually go higher. You know, so this is the time where we really need to start praying and asking the Lord to make the way. This is the time to sacrifice, you know. and start to make the move, before it's too late, So that's my urge. If there's anything you can take away from this video, is just commit to the Lord in prayer and He'll work a miracle. I don't think I would ever find somewhere like this in Switzerland for the price that I have. I just didn't think it was possible. I was going to settle, but God just made it possible for me, and I trust He will do the same for you. If you are faithful, if we are faithful. So anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you found it useful. Yeah, stay safe and God blessings to you all.
Friends, how you doing? These are my other friends. I think these are donkeys. Hey, come. Come to mummy. Oh, come. Come! Come, guys. Why are you hiding? It's not like you. Ah, this is a good one. Oh, look at all the flies on its face. It's smelling me. Oh, what a cute little thing. Oh, you smell.